Hey guys, welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. This is Matt. It's 9 o'clock. It's a Tuesday. It's time for a Matt test. Very special Matt test. Now, let me explain.
Why is it special?
It's very, very special Matt test because we were putting a different Matt test up today.
Okay.
Let me explain the situation. So, I've got a new trick coming out at the end of this week. It's called the Infinity Deck. Yeah. Do you remember when we had Evoke come out and we had to completely change the marketing strategy because it got leaked?
Oh, no. By who?
It's happened again. By the way, Ryland's behind the camera. Say hi, Ryan.
Hey.
Yeah, I wondered why we were filming this at this.
Well, okay.
Everyone else has gone.
So let me explain the situation. Basically, we've got a new trick coming. I've got a new trick coming out, and it's coming out. I think this Friday. The trailer's dropping on Friday, and me and Murphy's, we had this whole little hype campaign. Oh no, hype, horrible. We had this little hype campaign just over 3 days, where it would start off with a teaser video being dropped today, trying to guess who I'm doing this project with.
Right.
And then after the teaser video, the trailer would drop and people would find out what it is and then it would be available to buy.
Okay.
Unfortunately, a dealer who will remain nameless accidentally put the project live with the person and the trailer, the main trailer, and the person in which I'm doing it with. Everything went live and it's already gone on the Magic Cafe. Shut up. It's happened again.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, laugh it up, chuckle. Oh, so
How did this happen again?
I don't know. It always happens to me.
How
Right?
did it happen? How did it happen twice?
It never happens to anyone else, ever.
I'm so sorry.
No, but
I'm
Murphy's.
sorry, Lloyd.
Murphy's.
How
Well,
you
that's
gonna-
it. They're not meant to even know it's
Oh,
Lloyd.
shit.
The point is, at this point
It's
in
not
the
like I
campaign,
bled it out the man,
at
is
this
it?
point in the campaign, they're not even meant to know who's doing
who
the
was
project
it?
with me. It doesn't matter. So, Magic
How
Apple.
do you do that accidentally?
You just said who it was, Matt.
Huh? No, who was the dealer?
The Magic Apple. Hey, look, they didn't do it on...
How did they do it accidentally?
I don't know. They didn't do it on purpose. We know
How
the guys.
do you do
We
that
know the guys
by
at the Apple. They're
mistake?
really
They're
good guys.
amazing.
Right. Okay.
They're
Who cares?
wicked
They put
people.
it up. Murphy's found out. Murphy's found out.
So they like listed something but forgot to put a date of release and it just went up.
It went up. Now, Murphy's
Brilliant.
contacted them and they've took it
Oh,
down.
God.
But in that time, somebody grabbed the YouTube video URL.
Not YouTube
Stuck it
video.
on the Magic Cafe.
Because it was on their Magic Apple. So they took the YouTube video URL for
What
the
was the
trailer.
video?
For
Oh,
the
the trailer.
the
Oh,
main
God.
trailer. And it's gone up on the cafe going, hey, has anybody seen this new
somebody
project by Craig Petty and
So
Lloyd
somebody made a
Barnes?
mistake and went, oh God, and took it. But in that time, somebody
It's
managed to get
already-
it and upload it to the.
Boom,
Brilliant.
done.
Brilliant.
And so people at this point aren't meant to know I'm working with Lloyd Barnes. But obviously, this is mine and Lloyd's first release together.
If you guys have done this on purpose,
Nope.
it's marketing genius.
So this is where you come in. So at 4 o'clock, we had a Matt test video,
God.
hadn't we? We'd filmed a Matt test. It was for a
Yeah.
John Bannon effect. It was very,
Yeah.
very good.
Yeah,
Typical
yeah.
waffly stuff. And so we had the John Bannon thing. You were downstairs rehearsing with Ryland for his new superhero act.
Yeah.
I get a phone call at about 4:30 from Lloyd going, hey, Craig, explaining this whole situation to me. I'm like, oh, bloody hell. And then going, so we're gonna get ahead of this. And I'm like, how are we gonna get ahead of it? And he's like, oh, we'll just tell people, we'll paint it red. We'll tell people all about the project. And he's like, recently you've been doing these exposure videos. And I'm like, yeah. He's like, let's expose it. Let's tell everyone exactly what the trick is. So,
And that was at 4:30 today.
yes. And
So
he's
that's
like,
why we're still here now.
he then said, how do you feel about getting a Matt test up tonight? Explaining it. And I'm like, okay, the problem is it's now 10 to 5.
Yeah.
So I was like, Michael, do you want to stick around? No.
No.
Jack, do you want to stick around? No. Matt, do you want to stick around? All right, if I have to. So he's now here at 7 o'clock. The only person we could get to film this thing is Ryland. The quality of this filming...
Which is why it's going to be unwatchable by the time we get to the end of this.
I mean, look, he's texting at the same time.
Yes.
As his
Concentration's really high.
he's texting.
Already.
It's
like 3 minutes into the video, and he's already
Actually,
messing
we're already
it up.
5 minutes. Can you not count?
5 minutes.
Can you
Sorry,
not count?
I'm not looking at what you're looking at, am I?
Oh my god. So, we've got Ryland. He's now literally texting. Right, put the phone down. Put the phone down. Thank you.
Who's he texting?
Mom?
Oh, hey, are you two still rehearsing? No. Want to know if you're nearly done, you need a lift home. If not, I'll go home.
Do I need to know this?
Yeah. I'll call it later. So, basically, we've got Ryland filming this video.
Yeah.
And we're going to put a different mat test up. I'm going to show you the infinity deck, which I know you've not seen.
I haven't
I'm
seen
going to
it.
show you the infinity deck, and then well, you'll see, you'll find out. But I'm going to show you the infinity deck, and we're going to go through a bunch of different stuff. So that's why we're here now at 7 o'clock in the
7
evening.
o'clock, okay.
I've got to get this up by 9, so I've got 2 hours to film this. Michael is sat at home getting ready to do the edit, and
How
the
the
thumbnail.
hell are you going to get it to Mike?
It's called WeTransfer.
Righto.
And that's the plan. So welcome to this week's map test. You're about to find out all about the infinity deck.
It got leaked.
You're gonna find all about the infinity deck, and more importantly, you're gonna find out what it is, and I'm gonna tell you all about how it works as well.
I know you pair have probably been proper stressing about this, but it's fucking hilarious.
Oh yes, it's so funny, so funny.
I can't believe it's happened again.
It's happened again.
Okay, Matt, you're about to see the infinity deck. You excited?
Let's do it.
Thought you would be. So there's a few things that we need. First of all, I have a deck of cards here.
Yeah.
We're going to get back to those later on. I promise you, at no point am I going to touch these cards. So you can pop those over there. We'll get back to that later on. I also have a mysterious red envelope. This is the envelope of mystery. Red is the mysterious colour, and there's a question mark, which is the universal
Getting better at
symbol.
them.
Sarah drew it, but yeah, she's getting better at them.
Of course
but
she did.
Whatever. So we've got that, and also I have this. Now I picked this up from the shops a little while back, and this really helps me when I'm creating magic.
Okay.
It's called the Creative Mindset Deck. It's creative imagery cards. It's designed to inspire inspiration. It actually won an award for being the best inspiration tool. It's used a lot by creatives. So not just people in the advertising industry and the marketing industry, but also singers, songwriters, comedians. If somebody's writing a script, yeah.
Like
So
the
whole-
ones on the office wall downstairs.
yeah, exactly. So the idea is that each one of these has different images on them. There's a bunch of different images, and if you're stuck writing a script, for example, you take out a card and you go, right, okay, this maybe will inspire me in some capacity.
Yep.
We're going to use these as a tool to try and experiment. Experiment is what a magician refers to as, when a trick very possibly could go wrong. So this is an experiment, not a trick. Because I'm going to try and influence you. I know you're really big into influence.
I am.
I'm going to try and influence you, and it starts right now. So I want to have a look at this box and have a read through it if you want to. Have a look at the images, check everything out. Just look at the box for now. And I will tell you that right from this very second, I am trying to influence you in a very particular way. And I'm going to try and plant certain suggestions in your subconscious that is going to allow me to move in a particular direction with what you're about to see. My goal is to do that without you feeling influenced. So if at any point you do feel influenced, just let me know.
An invaluable mechanism for unlocking the potential of your innovation.
Exactly.
Wow. That's powerful.
Shall we begin?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, cool. Now, we will get back to this box a little bit later on, but for now, we'll pop it over there. We'll get back to it in a little bit. So, like I said, each one of these has images on them, right? Lots and lots of different images. And we're going to start off just to see if you and I are in sync, because a lot of the time, I can't do this with just everybody. So what I'm going to have you do in a second, I'm going to have you take the cards and start dealing them into a face-up pile onto the table. Okay? You can do that for me. Just take the cards and start dealing them into a face-up pile onto the table. And you can deal and just keep dealing. And any time that you want, you stop. But it's when you're happy to stop. You keep going until you're happy to stop. And at that point, you're going to stop.
Oh, chicken.
Chicken. Or a cock. Whatever.
It's a chicken.
You wanting to stop right there?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I don't know what this card is. We're just going to put the deck down here. This is the card that you stopped on, correct?
Yeah.
Perfect. Now, here's the interesting thing. I had this envelope from the very beginning here, and I said that inside it, I had a prediction, and it is a prediction. I actually had a business card. I've actually written on the other side of the business card. Now, let's just put your card here. If you'd have gone one card further, you would have ended up with a light bulb. Mm-hmm. If you'd gone another card forward, you would have ended up with a person...
A galaxy.
Galaxy, really nice. You could have ended up with a tree. You could have ended up... The point is, each one of these is different, obviously.
Yeah.
But you ended up right here on this particular card. Mm-hmm. I wrote on this business card from the very beginning, you will pick a dog.
Oh, man.
Why don't you turn that over?
Aww.
It's a dog, which is kind of insane when you think about it. And I'm very good at getting your full face now, so I know that that's kind of confused you. But we're literally just getting started right here, Matt. We're going to go way further with this.
Okay.
We're gonna divide the deck into two halves. So what I want you to do is take the cards and you're going to deal them into two piles back and forth. Can you do that for me? We're going to end up with two piles of cards. So you take the cards, deal them into two piles, back and forth like that. Very good. Now, obviously, I was able to predict that you would pick a dog. But maybe that was a fluke. I'll tell you right now, it wasn't a fluke, but maybe it was a fluke. So we're going to take this whole thing to the next level, so to speak.
The next level?
We're going to take this to the next level. And honestly, I would normally do this with maybe 4 people. But I'm going to try and do this with just you, okay?
She a dog.
Well, let's see if we can go one step further. And you can square these up for me if you want to. That's great. So we'll put these over here for a minute, and we'll just use these, okay?
Yeah.
Now, what I want to do is I'm going to divide these into 4 piles. 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way through. 4 piles. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. So, would you like to take this pile and give them a shuffle? You can do if you want to. Just give them a mix up, and then when you've done that, put them down there. Okay. And do the same with that pile. You good? And that pile. Yeah.
And then I'm guessing.
Yeah, go for it. It's really important that you know that they're all mixed up.
They're definitely mixed up.
Okay. Now, what I want you to do with this pile, you're going to take it and you're going to spread them out so you can see them. Well, spread them out. It's up to you. You can even do it under the table if you want to, so I can't see anything. What I want you to do, under the table, I want you to mix them up a little bit more, and then take any one of them, peek at it under the table, and then mix it back up into the pack. And I'll look away.
Look at one of them.
Yeah, just look at one. You got one?
Yep.
Great.
And then put it anywhere.
Yeah. We'll put them away. Yeah, put it in there and then put them away inside the box. So there's no way I can see anything. That was done under the table, right?
Yeah.
That's fair. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to, whatever the image was that you looked at, and as you know, there's tons of different images, right? There's loads of different ones. Yeah. What I want you to do is in your head over and over again, I want you to say the image, describe the image in your head over and over again. Maybe pick one word that you would use to describe this image and say it over and over again. Not out loud, because that's not mind reading, that's listening. In your head over and over again, you'd go house, 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 house. It's kind of weird, isn't it? Let's try it again. Take those, mix them up onto the table. This time, take one out. Just have a look at it. Don't show me. Look at it, and then put it back in. You got it?
Yeah.
Have you got one?
Yeah.
Cool. And put them away inside down. Just get rid of them. I don't want to see. Now think about this. There's no way I can know what you're looking at, right? Because you shuffled. You took any one. What happened under the table? I was looking away. So if I looked at you in the eyes and with no fishing and no nothing, and I said to you, "You're thinking of a flower."
What the hell? How's that possible?
Well, I'll tell you what, this time, just very quickly, spread it, shuffle these ones up.
Well, wait.
What? Good. Shuffle these up, right?
How?
Shuffle these up. And this time, what I want you to do, hello. This time what I want you to do is you're going to take it, and when you've shuffled them, I'll look away, quickly spread through, so you can see the faces of them, and just take one out and put it on the table and put your hand on it. You got one? Yeah?
Got
one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Put it on the table with my
Yeah,
hand over.
but face down so I can't see it. Put your hand on top of it. Very good. So this time you made a conscious decision of one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, put it away inside the rest of them. Put it away, and then put them away inside the box again. Okay, cool. There's a couple of... Right, look at me. I kind of felt like a vibe. Again, think of the word that you would use to describe this picture that you just took. There's a couple of different elements there, but the one word that's coming across over and over and over is person, 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 people, person. Yeah, that's what. So we're going to go one step further. Okay?
Okay.
You look very confused, but we're going to go one step further. I'm going to take some of the cards out. We'll put some over there out of the way, okay? And we're going to use these. I'm not too sure how many are here, but we'll take about half. Perfect. We'll take about there. So we're going to take this to the next level. We'll put those over there for a minute, okay?
Okay.
And let's do some more shuffling. Do you want to shuffle that packet? You look so confused.
I am confused. I don't
Good.
get it.
And then I want you to shuffle these.
Okay.
You got that?
Most unprofessional shuffle in the world. But
You're doing
they're
great.
definitely shuffled.
You're doing great. So you're going to make all the decisions now. So we've got 2 packets of cards, right? Mixed up by you. I want you to take, I don't know, about half the cards and cut them over here. It's up to you how many, but you know, about that many. Great, and do the same with this packet over here. And it's important that you make all the choices. So we've got 4 packets now. Turn one of those over. It's up to you which one. And turn one of those over. Now, to be clear, we're going to shuffle the face-up packet on this side into the face-down packet on this side and vice versa. So do you want to change everything over again, or are you happy the way you are? Oh, you do? Okay, thanks for helping there. Okay, so we'll shuffle these in, yes?
Okay.
So these will get mixed up. You didn't give me many cards there, but it's fine. And we'll do the same here. We'll shuffle these in like that. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, we're going to shuffle, we're going to mush the whole thing together. We're going to turn one of these packets over. It's up to you which one. Are you sure? Okay. And we'll mix these just like that. So you shuffled and shuffled and shuffled, and you mixed up these cards into a completely random position and order, right? Some of the cards are face up, some of the cards are face down. Is the cameraman coming really close to see this? Here's what we're going to do. I don't know which cards are face up, which cards are face down, because you were shuffling throughout this whole thing even before, so I don't know what the images are. But I said this is a creativity deck. So using this creativity deck, a lot of the time, you look for inspiration. So I want to do something to do with playing cards right now. So I want you to look through the face-up cards. You can do this yourself, and I want you to see if you can find a playing card in the face-up cards. And then what we'll do is we'll flip them over and look at the cards on the other side, and we'll use them to try and create a number. So have a look through these. Do you see, like this was shuffled face up? I don't know if that could make a playing card.
If it can make a playing
Yeah,
card.
see if you can make a playing card. Like, are there any of these face-up cards that you could use to make a...
Oh, hold on. You could use a king.
Okay, a king could work. A king could work. Let's have a look.
That's a diamond, right?
I suppose a diamond would work.
King of diamonds?
King of diamond. Is there anything else you could make here? I don't think so. I think we've only got a king of diamonds, haven't we? But depending on which you went with, like I saw some other, I saw some over there, some other cards that would make a playing card. Like here, you've got a spade.
Spade.
That would be maybe an 8 of
spades.
clubs or an 8 of spades or something. I don't know.
Oh, there's loads of numbers in that one.
Okay, yeah, we got quite a few. A queen would be a quite.
Queen.
The point is, depending on how you shuffle these and the decisions you made, you could have ended up with anything. We ended up with a king of diamonds, right?
Yeah.
And I said we were going to use these to make a number. Let's look to see if there are any numbers, because there were numbers over here, but we were using the other side to make numbers. So I don't think that's a number really, is it? I know an ace is worth 1 or 11, but I don't know if that counts. This one.
11, 7.
So what's 11 and 7?
18.
Oh,
8.
so what would that be?
26.
26. So there's not
26.
really any of the numbers. But again, if we'd mixed this up slightly
What are we
differently,
doing?
that's a 15, right? That's a 15.
Yeah.
That's a 35. We had a 21.
825.
So the point is, through the choices that you made and through the shuffling that you did,
Yeah.
we ended up with a 26
26.
and a King of Diamonds.
King of Diamonds.
Now, do you remember that when I first started this entire process, I said to you, I'm going to give you a pack of cards and I'm never going to touch it?
There's no way.
Take the cards.
There's no way.
Take the cards.
If I swear to God, if the King of Diamonds is at position 26, I'm quitting.
It could be. Take the cards.
There's no
I don't want to touch them.
way.
Hold them as if you're about to deal. And deal 25 cards face up onto the table. Out loud.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24,
5. Oh, look, there's a blue card in the 26th position. Don't look at it just yet. Put it there. Are there any other blue cards in the pack?
Oh, you're kidding me.
I think that would be the only one. Do you see a King of Diamonds?
No, I do not.
Just think about this. You shuffled this pack
Oh my
throughout.
God.
You're going to look at it with a fine-tooth comb later on. You'll see loads of different numbers that you can make, loads of different possible combinations of playing cards. But you yourself shuffled and found the King of Diamonds at 26. This is a blue card. It was in the 26th position.
Oh my God. I've just quit my job. Well, that sucks.
Yeah, you're rehired. But look. We put some cards to one side at the end. You mixed and shuffled.
Don't tell me you haven't finished yet. Jesus
Well,
Christ.
we'll try one more thing. We're left with a
What are we
few.
doing
We're left with a few cards, right? And through the process of you shuffling throughout, and the process of you dealing and making piles and shuffling under the table and doing all of that stuff, we've been left with a few cards. Let's see if we can do something with these cards.
How did you do that?
Do you want to take a minute? I'll just talk to Ryland. Ryland's behind the camera doing the videography. How you doing, Ry?
Good.
Good. He's good.
How did he do that? No. How
No,
did
no.
he do that?
Magic.
Oh.
That's helpful, right? Can I do one more thing?
Sure.
Look, I don't want to touch these cards, but can you do me a favour? Can you take them? And I'm going to snap my fingers, and when I do, I want you to. How many cards there? I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. When I snap my fingers, you're going to name.
Why is that perfect?
Well, you'll see. When I snap my fingers, name a number between 1 and 10, and then deal that many cards face down to the table. Go.
6.
6. So deal 6 cards face down. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Turn the rest over and put them on top face up. Excellent. Square up, pick them up, do it again. Name a different number.
2.
1, 2. Turn everything over, put them on top. Very good. Do it again. Name a number.
7.
Go for it. Nope, face up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Turn them over, put them on top. Do you want Ryland to do it behind the camera? Ryland, name a number.
10.
Okay.
I mean 9.
9. What's 9? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, do you want to keep doing it, or are you happy there?
No, we're good.
Okay, cool. So through a series of you picking numbers and randomly mixing up the cards, we put these cards into a very random position, a very random order of cards. I don't know what the cards are, and I don't know what order you've put them into. We'll deal them out and have a look. So we've got a needle and thread. Was that a bumblebee? Some of them face down, obviously. Some leaves. A can of eyes.
A can of eyes.
I know, it's an eye can.
That sounds disgusting.
A little pub, the New Inn.
I used to run a pub called the New Inn.
Somebody who looked like me from a couple of months ago.
A couple of months ago.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple of alternate dimensions ago.
No, as in he looks like he's ill.
Oh, I thought you meant he's got hair.
He's got tissues and hot
Yeah.
tea.
Okay, that makes more
There's your
sense.
chicken that you saw earlier on.
Ah,
It's more like a head, actually, but whatever. A light bulb.
Ping.
A tree. And some chewy sweets.
Okay.
Okay, and this is what we were left with after all of that shuffling and dealing and cutting and shuffling and dealing and cutting, and you shuffled under the table and we all mixed up. We ended up in this situation.
Uh-huh.
And I said from the very beginning, I was going to influence you.
Yep.
And the first thing I got you to do is I said, I'm going to influence you right from the very beginning. Have a look at this box. And I had you read the box. Did you read that bit there? You probably did.
I love working creatively with the deck. I believe in creating new approaches, and now I see real results with creative.
You don't need to read it. But you read it earlier, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I want to do now is I want you to read it again, but this time, you know, like when you watch a film, like The Sixth Sense, and there's something that happens that literally changes everything, and your entire perception of the movie changes. It's like that twist ending that nobody ever sees coming, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to try and do that right now. So you read the box and you didn't see anything. This time I want you to read again, but just read the first word of each line.
I believe I can influence what you choose.
I believe I can influence what you choose.
Yeah.
And I did. And I told you I would, and I did. Throughout all of the shuffling and cutting and mixing and all of those various decisions that you made throughout, we ended up with these cards, these 10 cards, in this order.
Okay.
I believe I can influence what you choose. I, the eye of a needle. Be and leave. Believe.
No way.
I can.
I
believe I can influence.
Brilliant.
What?
Yeah.
A yew tree.
Yew tree and choose. Oh my gosh.
I believe I can influence what you choose.
Oh my gosh.
And what you just saw there are 3 of the 26 routines with the Infinity deck. Just 3 of them. 3? 1,
Wow.
2, 3. 3, yeah.
Wow.
So thoughts, and then we're going to take a 2-second break, and I'm going to explain how this all works. Any ideas?
Is that Phil?
This is Phil Smith.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
I love Phil Smith more than my wife.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I can see why.
This is actually the first thing that we went to Phil Smith with. The very first thing. This is kind of how I met Phil. Any ideas?
Not a clue.
You examine everything. Everything's examinable.
Knowing Phil, there's some kind of ridiculous system somewhere.
Yeah, there's a lot of ridiculous systems built into that.
There's a lot of ridiculous systems.
Yeah. If you've got no idea, we'll take a 2-second break and I'll explain to you exactly how it works.
Well, they're the same, so...
Let's take a 2-second break and I will explain to you exactly what's going on here. We're now going to expose the Infinity deck. I'm going to teach you how it works, show you how it works, and show everyone here how it works as well.
Why?
Because Lloyd and I had a discussion and we thought this was the right way to do things.
Oh, so Lloyd knows about this?
He is aware of it.
Okay, that's all right then.
We want people to buy this with their eyes wide open. So,
okay.
So, first of all, this is the Infinity deck.
You don't think that performance was good enough?
No, we want to show people exactly how it works.
I haven't got a clue how it works. Like, genuinely haven't got a clue how it works.
It's pretty fooling, right?
So people would just buy it.
I don't care. On the project, right? It's about 6 hours, 6.5 hours.
Of course
something
it is.
like that. And it's a photo deck. This is, in essence, a photo deck.
It's just you.
No, me and Lloyd.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're both of us teaching the whole thing. And you know how I like to have special guests on my project?
Yeah.
David Jonathan's on there as well.
Nice.
Because I kind of thought, if you've got a photo deck, who's considered the GOAT when it comes to photo decks? And it's really David Jonathan. With snaps, he kind of changed the whole game.
Yeah.
So David was sent one of these decks weeks before anyone else, and he came up with some really killer routines.
Okay.
But a lot of the stuff that me and Lloyd talk about on the project, we talk about how you can actually routine this. Like you just saw 3 routines put together into like maybe a 15-minute act or something like that. That's important because there's different ways of using this deck. You can have it set up so that it's designed for walk around and it resets instantly. You can have it set up so you can do it for more of a parlor situation. Okay. So there's different setups depending on how you want to use it and in what environment you use it, if that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
But there's a few things. So first of all, Phil Smith designed this. Second of all, the images are glorious, and each one of these images are designed for a particular reason. We'll get to that a little bit later on. And everything is designed specifically to do what it needs to do. And the most important thing from Lloyd's point of view, and this was something that Lloyd really kind of hit home with this, is it needed to have a reason. Like, you need to have a reason why these photos exist. So Lloyd came up with the idea of having a creativity deck.
Yeah.
Which I think is just a great way to disguise the fact that this is just filled to the brim with
they actually exist, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
These kind of things are actually, we've got loads of them on the office wall downstairs.
They're and you see it, and it's all really colourful, and it's all really vibrant. So first of all, Phil designed the images to our specifications. These are in stack. Now, there's a ton of routines that don't require the deck to be stacked, and there's a ton of different ways of using this where you don't need to stack the deck.
Okay.
But my favourite way of using it is to have it stacked.
Right.
And first of all, these cards are marked in a few different ways. The first way, and you looked at these off camera for about 15 minutes, you couldn't see marks, could you?
I can see things, but like,
so first of all,
odd letter.
So first of all, let me explain, and we'll go through the markings as we go, but first of all, if you look in between creative mindset, and you come a little bit closer as well, Ryland, you'll see the stack number is in between creative mindset. Do you see 0, 1 there?
Oh.
Do you see 0, 2 there? 0, 3, 0, 4. The stack number is there. And so because the stack number's there, it allows you, if you drop the cards, to very easily put them back into stack. But that stack number also is great because aside from everything else you can do with the Infinity deck, it allows you to do those sort of really cool memorized deck type routines, but without having a memorized deck. So for example, if I said to you, cut a small packet of cards into my hands, and I pretend to weigh them, all I have to do is look down here, and I see 29, and I go, oh, there's 28 cards here. And I can deal them onto a table, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there'll be 28 cards.
Yeah.
Because I can use that stack number to, so if I said to you, hold your hand out, and I cut some cards into your hand, what number do you see there? It's very, very obvious when you look.
14.
So you know there's 13 cards there.
Yeah.
So you can use it for that sort of thing, which is great. But the core concept with this is that it's a Quran deck. Now, I'm not sure you're really fully aware of what a Quran deck is. So a Quran deck is, in essence, a deck of cards that's used a lot by magicians. And in essence, what a Quran deck is, and this is not a Quran deck, but it'll give you an idea. A Quran deck is a deck of cards where every other card is a duplicate, but there's 4 duplicates repeating. So it might be, for example, in different card, 2 of clubs, in different card, 4 of hearts, in different card, 6 of diamonds, in different card, 8 of spades, and then it'll go back to the 2 of clubs. So with a Quran deck, you can have them deal through the cards. Anytime they want to, they can stop. And when they stop, this will be a force card or this will be a force card.
Yeah.
And it's a classic deck. It's great, but there's a problem with it is. There's a couple of problems. And the big problem is you can't have the Quran deck examined. And the reason you can't have the Quran deck examined is because if you look at it, you're going to spot duplicates because there's like 7 or 8 duplicates of each force card. So once you've done it, you couldn't have them look through it because they'd see those force cards in place, right? So the original idea behind this, before we added a bunch of other stuff, was to create a Quran deck out of images. Because if you use images instead of playing cards, there's no duplication.
Yeah.
Let me clarify.
I know what you
If
mean.
you have a house, for example, as one of the force images, there's a lot of different ways of actually having a house. It could be a Monopoly house. Yeah. It could be a house on a terraced row of streets. It could be a house at the end of a street. So they can look through here and they will not see any duplication at all, because there might be a couple of pictures of a dog, for example. Now, there's actually 4 force images. So this is set up like a crayon deck. There's 4 force images. So that's normal. We'll get back to the normal ones. I say normal. There's a crap ton built into the normal ones. But that's a force image. That's a house. It goes house, flower, dog, person. And then it'll go back to dog. But if you, sorry, go back to house. But if you look at that house compared to that house, that's a dollhouse. That's a house at the end. But you would say house. Like when I was doing that thing with you and I was like, take one out and have a look at it, the way that was structured is you were just shuffling houses the entire time.
Yeah, I've just realised.
But even when I told you to look through and take one out, you don't realise that they're all basically the same image, because they are all designed by Phil to look completely different to each other. So even when you're looking at a spread of them, you wouldn't think that there's duplicates in place.
Yeah.
So clever.
That really got me, and I've just realised what you did.
Yeah, and then it carries on. So then you've got another flower, and then you've got another dog, and you've got another person. Now, that's a completely different person to the first person, but you would use the word person. Then you've got this one here, that house. Well, that's a completely different house again. So that is all the way through. So in essence, what we have here now is a crayon deck where you can examine this until the cows come home, because you're not going to see any duplications. So to do the first trick I did, where it was like, you will pick dog, I just had a 4-way out envelope. Well, I just had a 4-way out envelope, and I just literally took out the correct business card. But how did I know what the next card down was? Oh, by the way, this image here, these are your 4 force items, because there's various different routines, and I'll show that to the camera. There's various different routines where you need to know what the order of the force images are. Right, so having that there, that's a crib that hides in plain sight, which is great. Because basically what you have here as well is it allows you to know what any force image is at any particular part of the deck. I'm not going to get too much into depth with that, but this will allow you to do that, just that very simple crib there. So the first trick I did, I just basically did a Quran 101, a Quran deck. I had you deal through. You said stop. Now the question is, right, here's the question, okay? Let's say you stop there. How do I know, because they're going to be alternate regular cards, we'll get to that in a bit, regular cards with force cards, right? So how do I know that what the force card this is? Well, this is where the markings come in a little bit further. So first of all, do you see there F and F, F and F on either side of creativity? There's an F there, there's an F there. That tells me it's a flower. If you see F and F, it tells you it's a flower. Now, what do you see here? D and a D.
Dog.
Dog. What do you see here? P and a P.
Person.
Person. What do you see here? H and a H.
House. Okay.
House.
Yeah.
So the force cards are marked with exactly what they are. But this is what's really clever, and this was another one of Lloyd's ideas. When I'm not on a force card, and I'm on this card, I see H and F. Now that H and F is very simple. The H and the F tells me that that's an indifferent card, and that the one above it is a house, and the one below it is a flower. So let's look at this. What do I see here?
Flower and dog.
So I know the one above it is a
flower,
and I know the one below it is a
dog.
Perfect. So now I could literally leave the room, and I could have you deal anywhere you want to, and I could just have you stop, and I could say, look, stop anytime you want to, and you stop here. And I could turn back round, and I'm going to know everything, because I know this is a person, because I see it. I know everything because of that very simple marking system. The other thing that Phil designed into this, I want you to have a look here at the actual cards, and more importantly, the borders of the cards, more importantly, the corners of the borders. You'll notice that that one's kind of curved and that one's straight.
I did not notice that before.
The reason for that is the curved ones are force cards, while the straight ones are regular cards. It's completely unnoticeable.
I didn't notice that.
But you can immediately... Well, funny story about that. Bring it back up, Mr. Cameraman. Funny story about that. Phil just put that in without telling us. So we did the whole tutorial, and me and Lloyd didn't even know that that was a feature. We didn't even point it out in the tutorial, and it was only afterwards that David Jonathan got on, because we sent one to David Jonathan. When I was filming David Jonathan stuff, I was like, what do you think of the deck? And he's like, that's amazing. I love the marking system on the border. I'm like, which marking system on the border? And he told me, and I had to film an extra video just to actually point out that there's a marking system that Phil never even told me about.
Kudos, Phil.
But that is so useful. There's so much you can actually do with that, which we go on in the tutorial. So, it's a Quran deck, right?
Yeah.
Now, as well as being a Quran deck, this is really cool. This is so awesome. If you take the cards and you deal them into two piles, like I got you to deal them into two piles, right?
You've got all the force cards one
You've
side.
got all the force cards one side. Now, there's a ton of stuff that you do with stack, and you never take the cards out of stack. I think there's 26 routines on the project, and I think half of them don't ever take the cards out of stack. And if you want to do this, did I put that one there or there? I can look at the number, 4950, there you go. If, however, you do this, it is super easy to get back into stack, and we talk about how you can actually get back into stack in like 30 seconds. But if you divide the cards into two piles like this, right? Here's the interesting thing, like you say, all of these are the force cards, right? Mm-hmm. So if we put these to one side, and all of these are the force cards, if you divide these into 4 piles like this, you've now got 4 piles that are apparently completely and totally and utterly random. But in actual fact, what we have here in this pile is we have all of the people. We have all of the dogs in this pile. We have all of the flowers in this pile, and we have all of the houses in this pile, and this will tell us what each one is, because we see house, we know the next one is, this direction, we know the next one's a flower, we know the next one is a dog, and we know the next one's a person. That crib tells us the order. So when these have been dealt out like this, imagine you're performing for 4 people, or you're doing this on stage, or you're doing a banquet situation. You don't even need to have the dealing done. If you're going to know you're going to go into this routine, you can just have those stacked up on top of the deck, and you can just say, you take some cards, you take some cards, you take some cards, you take some cards. You don't have to do the dealing. There's so many different options with this. How many cards have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. So imagine doing this to 4 people. You say to all 4 people, I'm not going to look, pick up your cards and shuffle them. When you've shuffled them, go through, take out 1 card, look at it, and shuffle it back into the pack again. Or you can even tell them, like, you look at this, you wouldn't think that there's anything going on. Like you just look at it and you just go, well, these are just random pictures. Do you know what I mean? So you take one out and but now I forced, and in a really fair way, each person has an image, but you know what the images are. So these can all be collected up and these can all be put to one side. And because of my crib, I can immediately, with no fishing, tell everybody what they've picked. You've got a flower, you've got a dog, you've got a house, you've got a... How strong is that? No fishing. They shuffle the cards. 4 people, no memorization, no fishing. They shuffling the cards the entire way through, and immediately you can tell them exactly what they're thinking of.
That's crazy.
Isn't that nuts?
That's so good.
Now, that leaves us with these 26. Now, these have been done in a very particular reason. So first of all, there's a lot of different cards in here that have been used for magical purposes. So, for example, there's an 8-ball in there because we do an 8-ball production. There's a light bulb in there for a light bulb routine. There's a lot of stuff that's been put in there so you can just do a particular thing, right? Yeah. But the any card at any number that you can do with this is ridiculous. Because you can force any card, not any card, but you can force, I think, about 30 cards and a variety of different numbers in a completely hands-off way by using the Simon Aronson shuffleboard concept. I know you don't know this, so let me explain.
I do not.
You're going to by the way, once you've done that dealing process, the bottom 10 cards of the pack are going to be the homonym cards that we use for the ending. I believe I can influence what you choose. So what we can do is we can just say, look, let's just, Lloyd just what Lloyd does is he says, look, let's just take some of the cards out. And he just does it like this. And you go, oh, we'll put those over there. So it looks completely random. So you end up with these. But they get put to one side because that's the big finale.
Yes.
Right? These cards here have been set up in a very, very specific way. These cards here are made up of a bunch of different cards that will force a playing card and a bunch of different cards that will force a number. Now, the reason that me and Lloyd set it up so it automatically does 26 and King of Diamonds is because, Ryland, why did we force 26 and the King of Diamonds?
Because that's Memdeck.
Yeah, that's the moniker. In the moniker, in Memdeck, 26 is the King of Diamonds. But you don't have to. You can set it up in any way that you want to. But here's the thing. This happens automatically. Look, you take 9 cards and you put 9 cards there and you put 9 cards here. I'm not going to explain the shuffleboard concept now, but the whole idea is that if you have them cut the cards like this, and they turn over 2 piles, and they shuffle this pile into this pile, and they shuffle this pile into this pile, and then you turn one over, it doesn't matter which one. It feels really fair, doesn't it?
Yeah,
it feels really random. Yeah. It's totally not. Now, this has automatically been set up so that on the one side, the only card that they can make is the King of Diamonds, and on the other side, the only number they can make is 26. But what's really nice about this, and this is what we were really happy about, they're going to make a King of Diamonds. When they go through, there's nothing else they can make other than the King of Diamonds. But, and this happens automatically with no sleight of hand or anything, they can only make the King of Diamonds. But when you turn these cards over, there's a jack, there's an ace, there's a queen, there's a 7, there's a club, there's a heart, there's an 8, there's a spade, and this messes people up. I did this at the Magic Circle and killed people with this. Because they're like, there's so many different options, it didn't make any sense. But then these cards are designed to force the number 26, but you can go through here and you can see lots of different numbers, like a 35, an 825, a 15, a 21. So it feels just completely fair, which means that you can have a deck set up where the King of Diamonds is in the 26th position. Lloyd even does this with a blank deck. So he has a blank deck, and he has the only card that's printed in the 26th position, which is the King of Diamonds.
That blew me away. That's so good.
Isn't that great?
Could you combine this with Quantum, and instead of like just having a normal blank deck, you can say, now name any number you want.
You could do. I mean, that could be done, but the whole point with this is you don't need to, because this literally will make them feel like they've had any card and any number, whilst in reality they've picked, the 26 and King of Diamonds. But yeah, you could follow it up with Quantum. Absolutely. Good thinking, Ryland. Then you're left with this. These are the homonym cards. This was all Lloyd Barnes. And he spent ages trying to come up with this. They will automatically left with the 10 cards in the correct order. And I love routines that come full circle. And this comes full circle because at the end, you point out, and this was Phil's idea on the box.
That's brilliant.
So that the first word of each, that was
I
all
got to
Phil.
like the 4th word, and I was like, son of a bitch.
Yeah, this was all Phil Smith. We said to Phil, we want you to hide the phrase, I believe I can influence what you choose, somewhere on the box. And then he sent us the proof back, and he's like, sorted. And me and Lloyd, being stupid, we looked at it and we were like, Phil, mate, can you forgot to put the thing? He's like, no, I put it.
I didn't.
Me and Lloyd spent an hour looking at this box and not being able to find it. And we had to ring him up and go, where is it? And he was like, look at the first word. And I was like, fucking hell. It's ridiculous. But this is so cool because they find this so clever. But it then kind of, it gives them a pseudo explanation of how you've influenced them. Now, in terms of these cards, you can do a swindle switch if you want to. We talk a few different ways of doing this. You can do a Charlie, a shuffle or something. Do you know? There's so many different ways that you can actually mix this up. I teach a bunch of the one I did for you where you deal, and you know the first person I saw do that is Michael Murray, and it's a classic kind of thing. It feels like they've mixed the cards.
Doesn't actually move anything.
Doesn't really do anything. But then when you deal these out, you go, okay, an iron of a needle, and I actually somehow have shuffled these as I've been messing around with you. There you go, I. B and some leaves, a can with some eyes on it. You're just bringing these out like this, and they it just doesn't make any sense to them. It's like, okay, well, what's this? I influenced you. When you point this out and you go, I, the eye of a needle, be and leave, I believe. When you get to this point, they're like, fuck.
Yeah.
And then you go, I can, I believe I can. And then they're kind of thinking, okay, how are you going to get influence? And then it's like in, flew, hens. It's just great. And then what you choose. Boom. That's kind of the punctuation mark. That's like the explanation point.
That's so good.
Yeah.
The reveal of that is, I've never seen anything like that before. The reveal of that's brilliant.
Yeah, it's so cool. It was Lloyd's idea to create the homonym and add it into there. We basically, the reason this is called the Infinity Deck, Matt, is purely because we built so much into it.
Yeah.
That it's almost infinite. Now, I'm just scratching the surface here. Like, I don't want this video to be 3 hours long. I mean, the bloody project is 8 hours long or 6 hours long or whatever it is. The point I'm trying to make is we designed this. We spend a lot of time talking about creativity as well. We actually created this deck to inspire creativity. So there's a half an hour creativity jam on there with me and Lloyd,
That's cool.
where we're just talking about riffing ideas on the spot about, hey, you could use this for it, and they're not full routines, they're just extra ideas. And then when I did sat down with David Jonathan, he did his section, we had a creativity jam with David Jonathan as well, and David was coming up with this. He was like, why don't you do this, and you could do this, and you could do... David created a whole sequence where you can know literally the position of any force card in the deck on the spot while we were just sessioning on this. Like, it's just stupid. But, like, the whole idea is you can set this deck up in so many different ways. Nemid, when he uses this, he has the cards shuffled, other than the homonym cards at the bottom. Yeah. And he has a different way to actually do the Quran thing, which we talk about on the project. I always have them in stack, and I have them in stack in a slightly different stack. We teach it on the project, so that you're in Quran, but the homonym cards are at the end, at the bottom, which allows me to just... because I do this walk around, so I don't need a table. I'm doing a table here, but I can deal the cards into the spectator's hands. There's lots of different ways of doing it. But, I mean, the bottom line is what you have here is you have a deck of cards which are stacked, marked with this, and this, in a way that it doesn't look like they're marked. You've got really cool images that you can use to do a bunch of different stuff.
Yeah. And
the actual routine that you can do with this... That thing, sometimes I'll just do that. If I walk up to a group of 4 people, we were doing the live performances, me and them, we shot the live performances, and we went to this pub in Manchester, and it was like 11 o'clock at night, and we'd been getting live performances all day for a variety of different projects. And we went into this pub, and there were these 4 people, and it's like, okay, right, impress me then. And I first of all, I know that the 8 ball's in position 21. So I did an 8 ball production. I was like, have a look at that image, can you? Blah, 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 blah. Look at that image. And I looked at it. I was like, boom, 8 ball. That fucked them up completely. Yeah. Then I was like, okay, well, let's try and pick any one of these cards. And I gave the envelope, and it's like, look, and they were like, shut down. And then I had each person shuffle a packet and look at the card and remember it and blah, 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 blah. And as I was getting each person's card, they were just losing their mind. Like... I've not seen anything like this before. I'm so proud of this. I really am. There's so much you can do with it. Have you got any questions? Because I genuinely wanted this to be a video that literally exposes what the trick is.
Can I have one?
No.
What do you mean? No?
Yes, of course.
I'm going to call Lloyd.
Of course you can. Of course you can. Do you like it? Like, I'd love to know your opinion.
I absolutely love it. It's really clever.
Evoke was the last thing that I brought out through Murphy's, and Evoke is amazing. And I know you use Evoke all the time.
I use Evoke all the time.
I know you do. And the thing with Evoke is it's really mainly for mentalists.
Yeah.
This has some serious mentalism applications to it, but it's just as good for people that don't want to do mentalism and want to do magic. There's a ton of magic tricks in there. There's a bunch of visual productions and things in there as well, you know?
You can do magic tricks with Evoke, but, I mean, that has got... You'd be able to do more with that, wouldn't you? Magic trick-wise.
And if you don't live in the UK... You know, one thing that people said to me with Evoke is...
language
barrier. Like, hey, I don't speak English. And I'm like, oh, I'm really sorry. With this, they're images.
Yeah, there's
the
no
only
image,
thing that sometimes might get affected, depending on the country, is the homonym thing might not work because it's based on the English language. I believe I can influence what you choose.
Yeah.
But that's one of like 26 routines.
Yeah.
And that's the only one that is language dependent. So if you are, live in a different country and you don't speak English, this is just going to work absolutely perfectly.
They're just pictures, aren't they?
Yeah. And Lloyd uses this, and you got to watch the tutorial. It's the funniest thing in the world. No, don't watch the tutorial. Get Lloyd to do this to you next time you see him.
Okay.
He's mastered the art of having this shuffled, and he uses it as a story deck. So it's like, hey, the other day I was eating my dinner, and when I had my dinner, I can't do it. Like whatever, the woman from number 21 came down the road and knocked on the door, and said, "Hi, Lloyd," and she gave me her phone and said, "Can you fix it? The chip inside is broken." And I said, "Well, I can, but I've got to catch a bus in a few minutes, and I'm not going to be able to do it now." And she was like, he does this whole thing, but within about 1 minute, it gets really filthy. Like it just gets pure dirt and filth, and it ends up in the gutter. And it's you got to get him to do it. It's the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Next time I see him,
but that's a fun thing. That's a fun thing to do, just to get them to shuffle it and go. Let me tell you about a time that somebody bought me a flower. They actually bought me 2 flowers. They bought me 3 flowers. It was a really exciting day. I got all the flowers.
You did.
And then I picked them from a dog ate them, and I was really annoyed. And the other dog came to say, "Do you know what I mean? You can go so many different ways with this. It's awesome." But there you go.
I love it. I think it's absolutely brilliant.
I've scratched the surface.
Super clever. That's literally just scratching the surface.
Literally just scratching the surface.
That routine's genius.
There's the best version of the diary trick you've ever seen. You give someone a diary, a pocket diary, where you've written a different image next to each date, and they are completely different. They can look at them.
Right.
You have somebody not tell you the other day. You say, "What's your date of birth?" You give them the diary. There's not 2 diaries, just one. You give them the diary, say, "What's your date of birth?" And they tell you. And you say to somebody else, "Look, do me a favour, take a card out of here," which they do. And you say, "Brilliant, they've all got different images, but take a card." And you tell them to look up their date of birth in the diary, and all of them are different. They can flick through as many pages as they want to, and you go, "What is it?" And they tell you, and it matches exactly to the picture that they've taken. Like, there's so many different things that you can do. It's killer.
It's brilliant. It's really cool. And to have you and Lloyd on one project.
With input from the legend himself, Phil Smith.
And David Jonathan.
And Phil Smith.
So to have those 4 names on one project, how much is it?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
It doesn't matter, does it really?
Everyone's
going to buy it anyway.
I don't know, but it is a serious. It's designed for a working pro.
Yeah, it's cool.
It fools magicians, but it's designed for people to work in the real world. It's insane.
I'm going to get one off Lloyd if you're being mean, and then it's going straight in my close-up case.
Well, you can see how battered that is. I've been using that for
a while,
a long while. This is battered up. This is my working deck, but I've been using this for a long time. At events, and people have been. I've been posting pictures with this, and people have been like, "What's the infinity deck?"
I just love that it's believable. These things do exist. They're out in the world. If I was to pull one of those out, one of these decks out at a gig for a paid client, you could spin them a yarn that you got this from a store wherever, and they're a real thing.
Yeah,
these are an actual. We've got them in the office on the wall downstairs.
Yeah.
So they're a believable thing to have. And when you do mentalism and stuff, I know there's magic, you could do magic with it as well. But when you do mentalism, I find that the more believable it is, the more believable the reason why you've had this thing, the better. And
which is why VOLPE was so good, because
it's a believable thing. They're real. I've got this whole story about how I got on went from this little trinket shop when I was in LA, and you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. And people just believe it because they're a real thing and they actually exist. And these are the same. So for me, the fact that it looks like it hasn't got yours and Lloyd's names scribbled all over it. Do you know what I mean? It looks like you could have just gone to a shop and bought that. And I love that. That's
amazing.
Yeah, that's a really big selling point for me.
Well, thank you, Matt, for jumping on this very special Matt test. I'd like to...
Oh, is that what this is?
This is a Matt test.
Okay.
I fooled the crap out of you.
You did. You did.
I had to invoke Lloyd in order to do that.
No one's going to be able to have seen anything that's happened because Ryland's been filming, so it's going to be all over.
Well, we're filming this, as I said in the introduction, we're filming this after everyone's left in the office, so we've roped Ryland in, and
everyone's just going to hear him huffing all the way.
Yes,
through
he's moaning. Are your arms hurting, Ryan?
Mm-hmm.
My arms hurting. Well, it sucks to be you. You're 11.
No, it
Suck
doesn't.
Huh?
does not suck to be him. He's treated like a king. He's been asked to work for 20 minutes and look at the state of his face because he's actually had to do something.
Very, very true.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah,
Tell your mom.
That's lovely, that is, Ryland. Thank you so much for joining us. Try and keep it steady. Thank you so much for joining
Why
us.
bother starting now?
Thanks for keeping it steady.
It's going to make everyone watching this seasick.
I know, right? Hopefully it's okay. But thanks for holding it steady for me, Ryland. Oh my God, is this going to be like that the entire time?
Yeah,
Let's just finish this off. So this is available. I think this is hitting the shops on Friday.
This week?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
it's coming out very, very soon. So go check out your favourite magic dealer. Thank you so much for joining me. Any questions, let me know. I don't always have time to get onto the answer, the comments in the videos all the time. But I promise
never do.
He never does. I promise you, any questions on this video, I will personally type a reply as soon as I see it. But I'm very, very proud of this. I hope you don't mind me exposing it. I want people to know exactly
What would they
they
mind?
get.
It's your
Well, no,
trick.
I got in trouble with the
you
Magic
talking
Cafe.
to Lloyd?
No, I got in trouble with the Magic Cafe because they were like, "Why are you exposing your trick?" I did an exposure on the Mirage deck. Why are you exposing your trick? You're only just desperate for sales. That's why you're doing it. No, I'm trying to be honest and show people exactly what they get with
Isn't
it.
everybody that produces something want to sell it? Isn't that the point?
Yeah, but I'm not doing
desperate
it
to sell it, but everybody that produces a magic trick wants to sell it,
Yeah.
don't they?
Yeah, of course they do. I want it to be successful.
You and Lloyd obviously want to sell loads of them.
Yeah, but I want people to buy it knowing what they're getting. I've had that feeling where I've bought something and it's just been not what I wanted. I wanted
I've
people
had that too.
Yeah, I wanted this. Hopefully you guys, I mean, I've just scratched the surface. There's a lot more to it, but I've hit some of the main points. So hopefully you guys all know exactly what this is. If you like the Cram 101 deck and you like the idea, even if you just used it as the Cram 101 prediction, but with a deck that they can examine with images, it's way more personal. But that is literally, that's like buying a Ferrari and just going to the shops once a month and just like doing your monthly shop. You know, there's way more that you can do with this deck than just the Cran routine. But thanks for watching. Any comments, I will answer them. I will see you again soon. He's Matt.
I am.
I'm Craig.
You are.
Ryland, say bye.
Bye.
We'll see you again soon, right here on Magic TV.